Hello and welcome back to the Designasaw Studio. Today we're going to reassemble the steering with all the new parts we've 3D printed.
Right, here we're looking at the front steering assembly, and I'll run you through the original parts and then we'll look at the new 3D printed bits and see what a difference that's going to hopefully make to the whole thing. So starting with the wheel. In the wheel you have this sort of cup which has like a little bit of a sort of spline on it which pushes into the wheel and locates. Inside that you've got this, which is actually this is acting like your bearing. Now you can see it's not particularly wide, especially when you compare it to the cup overall. That fixes onto your main axle, and basically that just sits there and spins around. The main axle fits into this part here and literally just sort of fits there. It's not clipped or anything like that. It's just like hangs in place. Now you can see quite a bit of movement on that. This is actually the mount that goes onto the body. So you've got two mounting holes here and two mounting holes here that screw onto the body, and in that go these two bushings. Now the top bushing is fairly nice and snug actually inside the fit, but the bottom one is pretty loose in there. So I actually found out this is actually a taper inside that. I'm assuming to make it easier to mould. So that just fits on top of there, and then we have a washer that goes on the top, and then one of these sort of, whatever these clips are called, that fixes on there. Now, if I sort of mock this up, you end up with quite a lot of movement in this assembly. You can see that top shaft, the top of the shaft moving around in there. Couple that on to then movement that's in this as well. That all makes for one very wobbly wheel. So parts that we're keeping and parts that we're getting rid of. We're keeping this cup, but that's going. These going. Need one of that at some point. And that's kind of what we're left with. So, new parts. We have a 3D printed bearing carrier. So this takes two of these bearings, one like that, and one like that. That fits into this cup, and you see it's got these notches which align with that. That's a bit of a press fit. I've then printed two slightly different spacers. We have a thicker one, you should just about be able to make out that it's thicker, for the bottom, and a thinner one for the top that fit into this here. Like that. And then we have this clip here. And what this does is using these two bits there and drill that out, thread that, and that fixes on like that, and that stops the shaft being able to move up and down as much. So let's get it all put together. So we've got it all back together, got the new bearings and everything in our wheel. You just see the yellow bits sticking out there and the clip on the bottom there. Now, one, the wheel spins a lot better. Two, so we still have a little bit of movement. Now some of that is that I'm not holding this particularly tightly. But you see we've no movement in this part anymore now, but we still have steering action where it's fine, and a nice spin on the wheel. Now what I do need to do is add just a straight M10 washer between there and there, just because at the moment we've got the plastic skips on the plastic a little bit, but that's not a big issue. And then the wheels can go back onto this axle. But I'm not going to do that yet, because I'm going to want to leave putting the wheels on the car until right at the end. So for now, that's the steering done. So I couldn't resist throwing it onto the car and just having a look and seeing what it was going to be like. Well, I think we can tighten that clip up a little bit, but this side certainly absolutely rock solid. I think that just needs that top bit tapping a little bit, and that will just firm that up. But no, happy with that. Let's throw. I think we've sorted out a little bit of rolling resistance. So yeah, we still have a little bit of play. What I would say is actually that the wheel trims extend into the wheel slightly and actually have a bearing surface on the inside. So let's just throw a wheel trim on. A little bit. But I'm happy with that. I think we've made an improvement. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing and hit that like button. If you want to see more, check out our other videos. We've got build series on all sorts of things, including a conversion of a Volvo T5 into a manual. I hope I'll see you next time, and please look us up on social media. We're at Automotive Tales, or for me personally, at Designasaw on all platforms. Thanks for watching.